Imagine a normal Monday afternoon. The sun shines brightly over Spain and Portugal. Trains run on schedule. People check emails, make coffee, and go about their day. Then at precisely 12:33 p.m. on April 28, 2025, darkness. In just 5 seconds, 60% of Spain's electrical generation vanished. Metro trains stopped dead. Traffic lights went black. Hospital backup generators kicked in. 38 million people across the Iberian Peninsula suddenly found themselves thrust back in time to an era before electricity. "This is something that has never happened before," said Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez as the nation grappled with Europe's most devastating power outage in decades. Was it a cyber attack? A renewable energy failure? Or something more mysterious hiding in the complex web of modern power grids? The answer remains elusive, but the consequences were immediate and severe. 8 people lost their lives. Economic damages reached billions, and the investigation into what really happened has only just begun. Today, we dive into the mystery behind the massive blackout that paralyzed an entire region and sent shockwaves through Europe's energy sector. What caused the system to collapse so spectacularly? And more importantly, could it happen again? On April 28, 2025, Spain's electrical grid was operating normally until 12:33 p.m. siesta, when disaster struck. According to grid operator Red Electrica, the system experienced 2 rapid-fire disturbances. The first, a power fluctuation that the grid briefly recovered from. But 1.5 seconds later, a second, more severe disruption triggered catastrophic failure. In just 5 seconds, 15 gigawatts of electricity generation, equivalent to 60% of Spain's power demand at that moment, disappeared from the system. The collapse began in Spain's southwestern region of Extremadura, home to major solar installations. Data reveals that between 12:30 and 12:35 p.m., solar generation plummeted by more than 50% from 18 gigawatts to just 8 gigawatts. This sudden drop coincided with Spain's interconnection to France failing, isolating the Iberian Peninsula from the broader European grid. The resulting instability spread like wildfire through the system. Restoration efforts began immediately, but progress was painstakingly slow. Technicians implemented a black start procedure, gradually restarting individual power plants and reconnecting them to the grid. By 5 o'clock p.m., power returned to parts of northern, southern, and western Spain. Portugal utilized the Castelo do Bode hydropower dam and Tapada do Alteiro natural gas station, the only facilities with black start capabilities, to begin restoration. By midnight, electricity reached 80% of affected areas, though full recovery took until the following day. This timeline reveals a frightening truth. Modern electrical infrastructure, despite its sophistication, remains vulnerable to cascading failures that can unfold faster than human operators can respond. The speed of collapse, mere seconds, demonstrates how interconnected and precarious our power systems truly are. The human toll of the Iberian blackout was immediate and devastating. At least 8 people lost their lives, 7 in Spain and 1 in Portugal. 3 family members in Galicia died from carbon monoxide poisoning after using a faulty generator. In Portugal, a 77-year-old patient dependent on a ventilator died when the device's battery failed. Beyond these tragedies, countless others found themselves trapped in elevators, stranded on trains, or unable to contact loved ones as communication networks collapsed. The economic impact was staggering. Spain's business lobby estimated losses at approximately 1.6 billion euros, equivalent to 0.1% of GDP, from just a single day without power. Investment bank RBC placed potential damages even higher, between 2.25 and 4.5 billion euros. Across the peninsula, commerce ground to a halt as electronic payment systems failed. Supermarkets, pharmacies, and ATMs became unusable. Infrastructure failures created dangerous scenarios throughout major cities. In Madrid alone, authorities deployed 30,000 police officers to maintain order. The transportation network collapsed entirely. 116 trains were stranded mid-journey, requiring emergency evacuations. Metro systems in Madrid, Barcelona, and Lisbon shut down completely. Air traffic faced severe disruptions, with flights delayed or canceled at major airports. Internet traffic plummeted by 90% in Portugal and 80% in Spain compared to normal levels. The blackout's ripple effects continued even after power restoration. Schools remained closed. Government ministries faced ongoing outages. And public confidence in critical infrastructure suffered a blow that will take years to rebuild. This wasn't merely an inconvenience. It was a sobering demonstration of society's complete dependence on reliable electricity. 2 weeks after the massive outage, investigators still haven't definitively identified what triggered the catastrophic failure. Spanish grid operator Red Electrica ruled out a cyber attack on its systems, but noted 2 incidents of power generation loss, likely from solar plants in Spain's southwest, that created system instability and ultimately broke the interconnection with France. This preliminary finding has sparked intense debate about the role of renewable energy in the blackout. Warning signs appeared in the days leading up to April 28th. The previous week, Spain experienced several power surges and cuts. A disruption on April 22nd affected railway signals and stranded high-speed trains near Madrid. That same day, a major refinery reported operational issues due to power supply problems. According to Antonio Turiel, a senior researcher with the Spanish National Research Council, the grid suffered from significant instability in the days before the blackout. At the moment of failure, Spain's electricity mix was heavily reliant on renewable sources. Solar photovoltaic generation accounted for 59% of the country's electricity, with wind providing 12%, nuclear 11%, and gas 5%. Some experts have pointed to low system inertia, the stabilizing effect provided by rotating turbines in conventional power plants, as a potential factor. With high solar penetration and nuclear plants operating at reduced capacity, the grid may have lacked sufficient buffer against sudden disturbances. The European Network of Transmission System Operators for Electricity, ENTSO-E, has established an expert panel to investigate the incident thoroughly. Their analysis will examine grid data, system oscillations, and the precise sequence of events that led to the collapse, with a final report expected to include recommendations to prevent similar failures in the future. The Iberian blackout serves as a stark warning for power systems worldwide, particularly as countries transition toward renewable energy. While Spanish Prime Minister Sanchez emphatically stated that renewable energy was not to blame, the incident has highlighted the need for grid modernization to accommodate changing energy landscapes. The traditional power system, built around large, centralized plants with significant mechanical inertia, is evolving into a more distributed network with different stability characteristics. Investment in grid resilience must become a priority. Spain's grid operator Renewable had actually flagged risks in its February annual report, warning of disconnections due to the high penetration of renewables without the technical capacities necessary for an adequate response in the face of disturbances. This prescient warning underscores the need for stronger interconnections between countries, improved frequency control systems, and strategic deployment of energy storage to provide synthetic inertia when needed. European energy policy requires greater coordination. Portugal's decision to limit electricity imports from Spain for nearly 2 weeks after the incident demonstrates how grid failures can strain international cooperation. The European Union has initiated a thorough investigation, recognizing that energy security transcends national borders. As Siemens Energy CEO Christian Bruch noted, when you build an energy system, you need to think about the generation, like solar, wind, gas, but you also need to think about how the overall system on the grid side is operating. Technical solutions exist but require significant investment. These include enhanced grid monitoring systems to detect early warning signs of instability, advanced protection schemes that can respond in milliseconds to prevent cascading failures, and distributed energy storage that can rapidly inject power during emergencies. While renewable energy remains crucial for addressing climate change, the Iberian blackout demonstrates that the transition must be managed with careful attention to system stability and resilience. The Great Iberian Blackout reminds us that modern society hangs by the fragile thread of our electrical infrastructure. Don't wait for disaster to strike in your community. Prepare today by assembling an emergency kit with essentials like flashlights, batteries, non-perishable food, and water. Consider investing in a backup power source for critical medical equipment or communication devices. Beyond personal preparedness, engage with energy policy in your region. Follow developments in grid modernization and renewable integration. Support sensible investments in infrastructure resilience, even when they come with costs. Share this information with friends and family to spread awareness about the importance of balanced energy solutions. Subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis of critical infrastructure challenges facing our world today. Leave your thoughts in the comments below on how we can better balance renewable energy adoption with grid stability. Together, we can build a more resilient energy future.